It's Capital Extra Breakfast. What's going on? Robert Bruce and Shayna Marie back on your radio, and we have a huge guest for the start of the year.
Yeah, he is a regular in the studio. Joined us to speak about Luther, Apple's TV's Hijack last year, which was amazing.
We're still talking about Hijack, you know. We need a Hijack 2 or something.
Serious?
An actor, director, producer, DJ, Golden Globe winner and activist.
Also, a juggler. We just learned in the studio he can juggle. Secret talent of his. And friend of the show, Idris Elba is here, everybody.
Guys, great to be back. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
man.
man.
How was Christmas? How was the New Year? What was going on?
Christmas was really quiet, to be honest.
Yeah?
I didn't do anything. You know, one of them ones when you're just watching TV all
Is it?
What? No Ghana, no Dirty December, nothing?
Nothing. And then New Year's, I did go away. I went away and DJ'd somewhere warm.
Oh, so he's working over.
I was...
Sorry.
I'm always juggling.
See?
See what I did there?
Man, a big DJ.
I was bigger than Harry, you know. Well, we started the new year, and you started something very important this year, a new campaign. Can you tell us the name of the campaign and what the campaign's about?
So the campaign is called Don't Stop Your Future. Okay, I have an organisation called Don't Stop Your Future. It's actually Don't Stab Your Future, but I changed it to make it more broadly accepting to speak about Don't Stop Your Future. And Don't Stop Your Future, the organisation, I basically sell, you know, it's an activation brand. I sell hoodies and T-shirts, and I apply the money on all the profits to organisations that are fighting knife crime. So Don't Stop Your Future, the campaign is really, I started planning for it to be effective as of the new year. I was in Parliament yesterday. Outside of Parliament, I basically did a sort of installation, if you will. I got the clothes of some of the victims of knife crime from that last year and laid them in neat piles, the actual clothes of actual victims of knife crime. So as a reminder for the government to really put some focus into this. Don't Stop Your Future is obviously a broad sentencing, but it's like saying to a young person, put the knives down so that your future can live, okay? And it's saying to the government, let's invest in young people so there is a future of our country. Because there is a young person that's going to be a leader, a business leader, possibly the Prime Minister, who is watching you and us right now on how we deal with this issue. And when we see and we watch the news, it's kind of like someone got stabbed, someone got hurt. What's going on? What's being done about it? Nothing. Collectively as a society, I think we're failing the youth doing that. And so that's why we started with the new year, because everyone has a New Year's resolution. Mm-hmm. Well, let's make this. I want our society, our government to make this the focus for this year.
So you was at Parliament yesterday, yeah? But let's take it back a few steps. What are some of the families you've connected with through this activation, and what's their stories that you're telling now on this stage, like in terms of the broadness? What stories have you heard from some of the families that you can bring forward?
One thing I can say right now is that on Friday, actually, I met a lot of the families from some of the high-profile cases. So the young lady that got murdered in Croydon recently that kind of shocked the nation, you know, their family was there. And there was a few, okay? And one thing that's important to make sure you understand is, like, when we watch the news, we watch it, we're heartbroken and it's gone. But for them, it continues and it stays there. And they become literally experts. I play a detective, they become detectives. You know what I mean? They really get forensic about what happened to their child, especially the mothers. The mothers were there when that child was born, and they weren't there when that child passed. So they become obsessed literally about what happens, and they had a lot to say about how society is neglecting our children. Young people. You've got to remember, when you're a teenager, no one starts off bad, but when you're a teenager, your brain is functioning on another level. You're trying to balance your hormones, you're trying to balance your anger. Over the last 4 years, because of the pandemic and how the world has literally fallen off the axis, there is a lot more mental instability. And so that is definitely a contributing factor to why there's a knife crime problem right now and a crime problem right now. On top of that, the families are letting me know that youth services have been completely dismantled. Young people do not know what to do from the time they leave school to the time they get home. They don't know what to do, and a lot of them find themselves in different communities, and these communities are called gangs. And these gangs offer them a little bit of security. They offer them a little status. but they carry that knife as a symbol, as a weapon. It's like, I'm tooled up, I'm ready in case someone comes for me. Half of these people are scared. I heard this crazy stat that most paramedics, when they cut the clothes off someone that has been stabbed or is injured from a knife, that they have to take a knife off them. And they never got that person never got the chance to use that knife. So just imagine, right? What we're trying to focus on this campaign is how about prevention and intervention, okay? There's got to be a teacher that can speak to a police person, and someone that can speak to a health worker and say, hey, there's this one kid, and I think that they need a little intervention. Because we might save a life by doing that, rather than spending the money on what happens if that person dies. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why, for me, it's not a blame game. I'm not blaming the government for this or that, but I do believe that they need to apply the same amount of pressure they did when they got the dogs banned, those American dogs. That happened really quickly.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
Quick. But when it comes to knife crime, which is a ongoing problem, all right, disproportionately attached to black people, but it isn't a black issue. It's a nationwide issue. It's not just a London issue. It's a nationwide issue. How comes we can't get that knife bill across? What is it? What's the loopholes? And then on top of that, how about we just ban the knives? You know, like literally. There was a legislation about, I think it was in August, that they banned zombie knives and machetes.
Yeah.
5 months later, still hasn't happened. What are the loopholes? Come on, let's just knock it out. And let's also ban the advertising on the phones. Let's ban delivery drivers that deliver them. Okay, let's put sanctions. Let's make bigger deterrents for people who carry knives. I just think there's a whole think tank that we need to apply at this problem.
There's so many different layers to this, and people might see it as just, oh, a kid, you're the problem. But it's started from somewhere. It's gone through a whole load of, like I said, layers.
Yeah.
And you mentioned youth services. You've called for more youth services. They have dwindled massively in I don't know how many years. When you were growing up in Hackney, what did you have any services available to you? What did you use? What did you do with your time as a kid, a young black kid growing up in London?
Okay, so I mean, you know, listen, I'm an only child, so my mum and dad were very protective of me. You can't go out. What are you doing? This, all of that, right? And that wasn't just my parents. It was also my neighbours. And it wasn't just my neighbours. It was also the street down there. You know, there was a community of people that looked towards youth to see what you're doing. Okay, on top of that, there were parks, adventure playgrounds, youth centres. You know what I'm saying? Playing football on the street, playing basketball on the street, playing rounders, like on the street where everyone can see what everyone's doing. That was a slightly different thing to today. Kids don't play on the street. There's no sense of community watching the neighbours. You see a group of kids over there, you're turning the other way. You're not interested. You don't know their names. You see them every day, but you don't know their names. That sense of community has been eroded. And usually a youth centre, a community centre, is at the heart of pulling those fabrics together. The youth centre is doing a little boot sale. You go there and you see your neighbour and you see your neighbour's son. And then you end up buying a computer from that neighbour and it's in your house now. And there's that sense of community. But that's gone. Youth services is the last bastion of trying to hold communities together. A youth centre can help kids because in there, youth centres, you know, they don't cost that much, but there's two people that run it. One that opens it and closes it at night, and those people care about the kids that come in that door. If you don't have that, then there's two people that care less about these people, let alone the neighbours. Yeah. So I really feel like the government could really focus on, when it comes to budgeting, councils are the ones that distribute those budgets, and those councils are suffering right now. They can't afford to put the youth services on. I think they need to reposition it and say, can we afford not to? Because you're spending more money on crimes by sending police, by paramedics, by all the things that happen after someone's hurt than you are on preventing. I heard this crazy stat that back in the day, around like 10, 15 years ago, the average money that the government spent per child was about £158, and now it's about 36 per child. Yeah, that's a sort of weird fact that I kind of stumbled across, and that shows you that, you know, it's not like this is a poor nation. the distribution of funds is slightly skewed. I agree.
So we've mentioned the government, we've mentioned families. What about everyday people? What can everyday people do, whether it's getting involved in the campaign or just in general, in your opinion?
I really feel like everyday people listening to this who are scared or worried, think about it carefully. Like, there are really great organizations. Don't Stop Your Future is one, but there are ones that are on the forefront that are fighting every day that need amplification. Retweet them, send their posts out, put their names out, we'll buy their badges, go to their fundraisers. In your circle with your family tonight, talk about knife crime. Because one of you will go to work and say, hey, you know what, I was talking to my family about this yesterday, and it's something that we should do as a company. Wear a badge, put it on our stickers. I just think that we need to keep it at the forefront. It isn't until it happens to you do you care so much about it. And I get that, you know what I mean? It's like, why do we care about all that? But we should care because our children, our youth are our future. That's what Whitney Houston said, but it's the truth. We've got to invest in the youth. We've got to.
I think really what you said about community is really important. I think it starts from there. You're speaking to, like you said, your family, your neighbours, your friends. You live on a street, you don't know your neighbours' names, the kids' neighbours. You might see them around the corner down the road and you can look out for them. It can be something so small, so simple.
Yeah.
If you've got another adult in your community that you just feel a bit more comfortable with, a bit more familiar with, all these little things help. All these people that are around us really help. You also released a track as a part of this campaign featuring DB Maz. It's called Knives Down. Video out now as well. We had a little watch of it. Talk to us about the song. How did that come about, and why did you pick that feature artist for the song?
I'm an artist. I'm not a politician. I wouldn't say I'm an activist. I'm an artist, to some degree, right? Whether it's film or music or whatever. And I also feel that film and the arts have a way of penetrating something difficult easier than actually having a conversation about it. So that's why I wrote a song about it. DB Maz, who's here in the studio with me, it's his first song. He's never been on a song. It's probably his second radio interview today. He's been on a radio
Hi, DB Maz. Hi.
And I just wanted, listen, I consider myself an elder of our community. I consider myself an elder of the arts, and I wanted to have a youthful voice on the song, okay, so that we have both perspectives. The video is designed to be, visually stimulating. We have real people that have been affected. We have real communities in the video. And obviously in the middle of the video, I'm playing some sort of politician type that's attacking and trying to get the government in Parliament to listen to what we're having to say. So it's symbolism. I think it's just important that we have every single facet of our capability to tackle this. It's not just about being angry and standing outside Parliament and waving your fingers, like finding ways to have this conversation, stimulate the conversation, and we can all do it. So you can write a song tomorrow, Mr. Bruce, put it out about something that you care about. 20 people might listen to it, and 20 more people will talk about it, and that's what I think we can use.
Yeah, the song's produced by Fraser T. Smith and the Fanatics. There's been so much that it seems like you've learned on this journey so far. If there's someone listening right now, what's maybe the one takeaway that they're just going to leave their car right now, you want them to walk with in their day?
I would say that this issue of knife crime can affect everybody, is affecting everybody, okay? You don't have to be just a victim of it. You don't have to be just someone that holds a knife. It is something that all of us need to be conscious of, okay? We come from this society. We each contribute to our society. By not having an opinion on this, by not really saying maybe we should do something to this and putting pressure on the policymakers, we're kind of complicit. You know what I'm saying? And none of us wants to feel that way. You know what I'm saying? This is knife crime. Holding a knife is very, very specific. When you put a knife or a blade into someone else, that is so personal. So we need to try and figure out a way to eradicate it slowly. Banning the knives is not going to do it on its own. It has to be a collection of thinking, solutions, how we can all connect with each other and care about it.
We've all got a part to play, basically. I mean, we're all doing it. It's always a pleasure having you in the studio, Idris Elba, today especially, so thank you.
I love that you said my name. Idris Elba?
Idris Elba. Mr. Idris, friend of the show, Idris Elba.
Let them know he's your friend,
Idris Elba is my friend.
I think we call it Idris, just Idris.
No, Idris Elba.
Okay.
I have to let them know that Idris Elba is in the building.
It's just gonna be any Idris. Let them know, bro.
Idris Elba, do you know who you are? Anyways, it's been a pleasure. Make sure you go and check out the song, the campaign, Don't Stop Your Future. Idris Elba again. It's been a pleasure. Let's give it out one more time.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much.